Erectile dysfunction
Man,
is tearing some relationships up.
indeed.
And so much of it is attributed to highly processed meats, red meat,
Yeah,
processed junk foods and snacks, sugary drinks. Erectile dysfunction, especially in younger men, is an early sign of cardiovascular disease and may decrease quality of life.
absolutely. Yeah, and so, man, I'll tell you. So let me just keep it all the way real. I remember in my 20s when I started my journey, I did not know that I had an issue in the bedroom. It wasn't until I went plant based, and after 3 months, I lost a significant amount of weight initially. So I lost like 50 pounds total in about 60 days. All right. And I remember the girl that I was dating at the time, she hated the weight loss because to her, like, I just looked like a football player with the 50 pounds on. And then off, it looked like I aged backwards like 20 years.
Yeah, now he was like, "You all right? You know, you
Yeah,
well, you
you
on
know how
something?
exactly. You know how black families are. They like, you sick?
You sick? You want something? He take drugs now, girl. You know, we got to pray for him."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I remember her saying, I asked her because for me, I was like, damn, I got abs again. Like it was amazing. So I was like, what do you think about the weight loss? I just made me ask her, and she was like, I don't like it. But she was like,
This is the same girlfriend that was nudging you because you sounded like a
yeah,
bear at night too.
yeah. And she was like, I don't like the weight loss. She was like, it make you look so young when you're with me. And I just, what she was really trying to say is, I don't feel like you can protect me now. But she was like, but in the bedroom, she was like, I didn't know it could get better like this. And I was like, well, what do you mean? How was it before? And she was like, well, that's over. We ain't got to talk about that.
She said, "I don't want to hurt your feelings, baby."
Yeah, so like what I understood from that was I was at the beginning stages of ED.
Okay, because you weren't able to get it up, or you just
No,
weren't multiple
getting it up wasn't
times.
a problem.
Okay,
Okay,
stamina.
stamina wasn't a problem.
What was the problem though?
Being fully erect.
Oh, it was kind of like it's kind of here, but kind of not.
Yeah, because what I like when I talk to men, most men don't know what a fully erect penis is. But if you remember back to when you was a little boy and you got your first erection, your penis came up like this.
Yeah.
It almost pointed at you. Okay? So I always tell men that's how you measure how healthy your erection is. If it's up like this, you super healthy. If it's down like this, okay, we got some little work to do. If it's at 90 degrees, still good, but you're heading in the wrong direction. And once you're erected, but your penis is pointing down, okay, but not up, now you know you're at the stage where you need to do something about it.
This is why I wanted to have this conversation with you. Because I told you before, it's one thing when you hear female physicians and doctors talk about men and erectile dysfunction, but
Yeah.
it's another thing when you hear it from a man
Yeah.
who has the working parts to let other men know what life can really be like
Yeah. Yeah, for
if
sure.
they change their diet too.
Yeah, even waking up with a morning erection is normal for a man. Like that's a sign of health
Sign of good health.
as well too. And so what men don't understand about an erection is it's all about blood flow. This is why it's totally connected to cardiovascular disease. When your blood flow begins to suffer, the first place it suffers for a man is going to be in their erection. Okay? So that's a sign of
Wow.
a lack of nitric oxide. Okay? Nitric oxide is what causes the blood vessels to dilate and get bigger. As they dilate, they allow more blood flow to come through. Okay? But as you're eating foods that are very inflammatory, it causes those blood vessels to constrict. Now it's much more difficult to get blood flow into that area. Okay?
So that's the sugary processed foods, the drinks, that's the alcohol, that's the processed meats, that's the red meat,
Yeah.
that's all of those
Yes.
things.
That's all of those things because they are inflammatory. You eat foods that inflame the body, they're going to cause the blood vessels to get tight. Now, think about plumbing because guys understand this perfectly. If you have a very cold day and some of the water inside of your plumbing begins to freeze, and then you turn the water on to get water to your faucet, it's going to create so much pressure because the ice is in there. Okay? And what does water do when it freezes? It expands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Creating more pressure, making it more difficult for blood to flow. So this is why men have to understand if you're eating an inflammatory diet at some point, especially, you know, going into your 30s now, which it used to be going into your 50s and your 60s,
Yeah.
but now it's going into your 30s. Okay? But even me, I remember when I was working in a hospital, I had young men in their 20s coming in asking for ED medications because they had real issues. So it's starting as early in the 20s now. But that's not just a sign that you're going to have a problem in the bedroom. It's also a sign that you're going to have a problem with your heart health as well too.
I mean, when we look at the food, what are some foods that we can be putting into our bodies that will bring down the inflammation?
So yeah, there's a few foods that could be helpful for somebody who's suffering with ED. The first thing you want to do is get the inflammation out. All right, because the inflammation is causing the constriction. That's what's slowing down the blood flow. And if your blood flow is being sort of blocked to your heart and your kidneys, the last thing your body cares about is your penis. Okay, so that just is what it is. Your body gonna make some CEO decisions.
Yeah,
Okay,
and your wood is not the part of
the
the
wood
decision.
ain't all good. So, the first thing you want to do is get some anti-inflammatory foods in your diet. That's gonna be, your green leafy vegetables. Stay away from things like spinach and kale because they have oxalates in it. Go more towards arugula, dandelion leaf.
Wait, stay away from kale.
I would say stay away from kale and spinach because they have oxalates in it. Oxalate is oxalic acid. And if you're trying to get rid of inflammation, it may not be good for a person who's trying to get rid of inflammation.
That is so good
So
to
then
know.
switch over to more of the green leafy vegetables like arugula and dandelion leaf because they're bitter, but they're also more alkalizing to the body. And
Yeah.
anything that's alkalizing to the body is anti-inflammatory. So get your green juice on, get your green smoothie on, okay? That's going to be important. Get some antioxidants in the body because that's going to fight off not only the inflammation but also free radicals in the body as well too. That's going to be things like fruit, especially your tropical exotic fruits, okay? So get some, pomegranate in there. That's good for nitric oxide that dilates the blood vessels. Get some soursop if you can find it in there as well too. That'll be helpful as well too. But get your fruits on, get your berries on. All right, antioxidants, and try to get a range of colors, especially the blues and the purples, because they have anthocyanin, which is very anti-inflammatory. All
So
right,
that's the blueberries. That's the dark
the
seeded grapes,
blackberries,
the
yeah,
blackberries.
yes, yes,
All of those are going to be really good for
yeah.
that.
So get those going, and then I would say get some healthy fats in because healthy fats are going to have omega 3s. So my healthy fats are going to be things like sea moss, okay, to get my omega 3s. I get that from seaweed and dulse. I also get it from avocado, a really great um, sort of source as well too. Um, Other nuts and seeds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, um, you know, just getting some hemp seed as well too. So those are my choice that I go to as well too. And then I didn't mention before, but one of the best sort of fruits that you could have is watermelon. Okay. Now, Beyonce did a song about watermelon is about a whole nother thing. Okay. But what men don't know about watermelon being good for them is that, especially the rind of the watermelon, that little white part, and make sure you get seeded. That white part, eat that part too, because that's the part that has citrulline and arginine in it.
Now that was the part when we was growing up as kids. Don't eat that part; it's gonna make your stomach hurt.
Nah, that's the good part. That's where the citrulline and the arginine is that causes the blood vessels to dilate. Okay? So women, if you love your man, get your man some watermelon juice.
Baby, they at the farmers market today, Doc. Okay, I'm gonna see them over
And for
there.
the ladies, they could do okra water.
The okra, I like okra is such a staple in my diet.
Man,
It
but
is.
okra water.
I have tried the okra water. Now it's a little.
Let me tell you something.
It's a little. It's a
All right,
slippery slope.
ladies,
It's slippery.
They had a song called WAP.
Okay.
Okay.
This the WAP water?
This WAP water. Okay. So men, get your woman
Some okra.
some okra water. Okay. So
Listen.
he gonna be good in the bedroom, and you definitely gonna be good in the bedroom.
You gotta go get your watermelon and your WAP water.
Yeah, there
the
you
okra.
go.
The okra water.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Hmm.
So women should be drinking okra water.
I mean, men can too because it helps as well with men.
I see you on your social.
Yeah.
Listen, Doc said he gonna get it on all angles. He said he
Man,
gonna have it.
Let me tell you something. Don't play in the bedroom with your woman.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the things that.
If that blessed you, trust me, you've only scratched the surface. There's so much more wisdom, truth, and transformation waiting in the full conversation. Click the link in the caption below to watch the entire interview, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Vault Empowers Talks.